let's go ahead and dive deep into what makes all of this just keep on going, and that is passion. What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy, and you're watching Morphs. This week's video, like I said in the beginning, we are diving into what I think drives and keeps this whole thing running, keeps the whole world turning in the reptile hobby and industry, and that's passion. And we're going to dive, this is something, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it's very hard and to stay passionate in certain aspects of this hobby and industry, and I'll dive into why. But this was a topic that, this week, I just didn't know what to do for a video. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know what to do. But luckily, I've got some awesome channel members that sometimes when I'm just like, guys, I don't know what to do this week, they help me out. So I want to thank Tara from Voodoo Doll Royals for this one, because you know what? I was looking for something that I could talk about, that I was passionate about. And I don't know how or why I didn't think about it, but passion can be the video. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what it takes passion-wise for this hobby and industry, what it takes to stay in it passion-wise, and some of the things that really, really kill that passion. So let's go ahead, dive into it. Before we do, though, do me a favor, folks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Drop me a comment down below, please. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think I hit the nail right on the head with it? In the comments down below, let me know. And let's go ahead and dive into this. ShedTesting.com is your premier choice when it comes to shed testing. Charlie is adding new tests on a regular basis, so make sure to stop by often to see what's been added to the website. Let ShedTesting.com shave years off of your breeding plans. They're fast, accurate, and can't be beat. Don't forget to use the code CARPET15 at checkout to save 15% off of your order. ShedTesting.com. Use the best. All right, passion is that one thing that keeps all of us breeders moving forward. It keeps us into it, keeps us hyped up to keep producing these awesome animals. And it's something that we all need. It is something, however, though, I think that a lot of us do struggle with one point or another. And there's several different things that will contribute to either that high or that low freaking low. And sometimes that passion, it can get stomped on, spit on, chewed up, spit out. And it's hard to keep going sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that, those high highs that keep us moving and the low lows that knock us to our knees. One of the top things would be, in my opinion, the fact that you miss out on so much. And, some people might say, Jeremy, I don't miss out on anything. Once you get to a certain size, you do start to miss out on, certain events going on. So maybe you got, you can't go out on vacation as long as you would like because you've got clutches being, that are due. You've got babies that are due to be hatching, so you got to be here for when they hatch. One thing or another. At some point, once you get to a certain size, this will affect your personal life. That's just all there is to it. For me, I wake up at about 5 a.m., go to work, come home, spend a little bit of time with the family. Depending on when I get home, it could be 5, 6, worst case scenario, sometimes even 7 o'clock at night, depending on where I'm working at. But normally it's like that 5 or 6 mark. And, I get to see the kids maybe 2-3 hours tops roughly. And, in that time I'm eating, I'm getting a shower. And then once the kids go to bed, give the wife a good night kiss, and I come down here and I work. That's just the reality of it. No matter what, you're always going to be down here working. After a while of missing out on certain things, or feeling like you don't have a break, where maybe you just want to take a night off, you just want to kick back and relax, you can do that. Don't get me wrong, you can do that. But it's one of those things, you're kind of married to this to an extent. Like, coming down here should be one of the highlights of your day. Sometimes you're just tired, you're exhausted, and you're just like, I'm done. Keeping that passion going can be a little bit on the hard, it can be a little hard, when you want to spend more time with the family, the wife and the kids, or go out and do that fun thing, but you can't because you've got stuff here to do, work-wise. You've got tubs to clean. You've got bins to clean. You've got waters to change. Like I said, you've got clutches hatching. You've got babies to put away. You've got babies to put into, like, your Husbandry Pro. You've got babies to upload to Morph Market. You've got shows to go do. There's a lot that you will miss out on by doing this. Sometimes it kills that passion a little bit. Sometimes those things that you start missing out on does weigh a little bit heavy, and that's what causes people to get out. Being able to balance those things is a big important factor. And maybe that's one thing I can do a video on, is balancing that stuff, because I did need some help on that. I was in a little bit of deep trouble with the wifey, and thankfully I have some awesome friends that were able to help me kind of balance myself out a little bit, and it helped, it worked wonders, and I was so thankful for it. But the things that you're going to miss out on by being a breeder, and the bigger you become, the more animals you get, the more you're going to miss out on. It could kill the passion a little bit for you. So keep that passion strong. So learn how to work efficiently, balance your work schedule with your family and your 9 to 5 job, or in my case, a 5 to whenever job. Learn to balance all that stuff out so that way everything works and you're just happy to come down here, relax, see these beautiful animals, and keep the day going. Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Check out Chris Shelley over at S Reptilia if you need a high-end ball python, blood python, locality boa, or colubrid. He's also Pennsylvania's distributor of Coco to Go and the Chipper, and he can also hook you up with some rats. So make sure you guys check out Chris over at S Reptilia. Another thing that can kill the passion, you get overloaded. If you've got too many animals that you're working with, or that you're just keeping in general, you can overload yourself and kill the passion real quick. Just say you can handle 50 snakes, 80 snakes, 100 snakes. And that's between your breeding females, your males, and some grow-ups. You've got to remember, when you're breeding, that 100 mark that you're at a consistent rate right now is going to jump up significantly, especially depending how many clutches and pairings you're doing. It can double, triple, quadruple. It's going to increase. You've got to keep in mind, you've got to be able to take care of those animals that you're producing. Now, yes, that number of babies that you're producing will dwindle down as you sell them. But while you're selling them, one, they're taking time take care of. You're taking time doing shows, and you're taking time, just doing customer service through things like Morph Market or Husbandry Pro Store. And also, the feeding, maintenance, all that stuff, it's taking time. You've got to make sure that you're able and ready to designate that amount of time extra to those babies. Because if you can't, you're gonna be overloaded. Needless to say, you're just gonna say the hell with it and be like, this isn't worth it, and you're either going to get out, or you're just going to mass exodus basically all of your animals to where you're just down to a couple. Make sure you grow at a rate that you're comfortable. Don't overdo it. Think about it, like baby step into it. One year do 4 clutches, then do 8 clutches, and then 12, whatever. Just kind of keep moving up progressively, instead of 1 year doing, say, 4, and the next year doing 20. Those extra, amount of clutches going from 4 to 20 may break you. You may say, this shit isn't worth it. Just, keep the passion strong. Don't overdo it to where you basically hate coming down here and you hate being with these animals because they are so magnificent to work with, hang out with, handle. Yeah, I love being down here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There are nights though where it's just like, oh, I just want to go to bed, or I just want to sit down and watch a show. We all get like that, but you've got to keep everything where you're comfortable and manageable for you. Don't overdo it. Scaled Paranoia is owned and operated by Greg Klein and his wife. They're a husband and wife team that are focusing on ball pythons and western hog noses. Their 2025 ball python projects are Kiki's, G-Stripe, Hypo, Mandarin, Astro, and Furrow. So make sure you head on over to Scaled Paranoia and check them out. Scaled Paranoia. Let us help you get over your fear of reptiles. Another thing that I think helps keep you passionate about this is work with different species. I know I preach diversity so much on this channel, but I think honestly, if you do have a little bit of diversity, it's going to keep that passion stronger because one week the ball pythons might be your favorite. The next week the carpets might be your favorite. The week after that the green trees might be your favorite. It's gonna keep everything fresh and exciting. The carpets are gonna provide different challenges that the balls don't provide. The green trees are gonna do something that the other two don't. Just that little bit of diversity will help keep that passion, ignited. You'll be excited to come down here. Like the green trees, if they're going through their ontogenetic color change, you're gonna be like, did some blues start popping in yet? Did some greens start popping in yet? The carpets, it's, have the yellows started to come in yet? How are they looking? Are they in shed? How are they growing? All of that. Same thing with the balls, how are they looking? How are they growing? How are they progressing? And having that little bit of spice to, your breeding projects, what you're doing here, with your business and or just your breeding aspects. All that's going to keep you into it, excited, and passionate about all of this. Because you're not going to be focused on just one thing. After a while, some of the people that do just one species, I don't know how they do it. Because to me, at some point, I would just get, I don't want to say tired of it. Because I love working with the balls. If it wasn't for the carpets, I would kind of get a little bit bored, I think, with the balls. And, it's vice versa, like exactly with the green trees. Like having those different species, it spices everything up here. It keeps me so into what's going on. And it's the challenges that each species provide breeding wise as well and care wise. And, taming them down. Just working with them. If they're a little bit spicy, working with them, getting them through that, that nippy stage. All that keeps me into just the hobby and the industry. It helps keep that passion going. The one thing that really kills my passion, and it's more towards the ball python side, is the auctions. When I see some of these project animals that not that long ago were thousands of dollars, and they're going for, say, 500, 300, when they've dropped that much. Now, yes, I know, before everybody starts typing away on the keyboard saying, oh, there's so many out there and this and that, I get it. The more that's out there, the supply and demand, I get how all of that works, trust me. Too many people got in, I think, wanting to get rich quick, thinking that ball pythons was going to be their way of retiring from their full-time job. Didn't realize the amount of work that was going to get into it. Started making a whole bunch of stuff that they aren't able to move because they didn't do all the other stuff like, building their brand, all that, everything beyond making the snakes. They didn't do all of that possibly. Or they just made too much and they can't afford to, house, support, feed, all that stuff. So they're just trying to get stuff out of there. Or maybe they just don't care. But seeing some of these top-end animals that used to be thousands of dollars, not that long ago, 2 years ago, and these animals that were up there so high are now basically chump change. It's disheartening. Like when you see some of these combos, like say a clown pied, yeah, it's only a double recessive, no other genes attached to it. But when you see a clown pied that not that long ago was $1,000, $2,000, go for under 500, that hurts. Like that, it literally, it makes you question what the heck is going on. Or is what you're spending on some of these high end projects really worth it? If these prices keep dropping like they do I really want to invest into some of these higher end projects? Or should I just wait till these people get tired of holding on to them, fire sale them, get the awesome gene then when it's dirt cheap, and work it in at that point? Watching some of these, these auctions, what's going up on there, like there are snakes that, yes, they are auction quality, and by auction quality I mean they are not double and triple visual recessive stuff. They are not, you know, high, what should be powerful high end stuff. None of that should be seeing auctions. My opinion, just my 2 cents. Auctions should be for more for like your clowns, like a single gene clown, or maybe like a 2 gene clown. Your lower end stuff at this point, with how the market is trending and flowing. That's what I feel should be on the auctions, not the stuff that's harder to make. It should be the stuff that's easier to make, where it's more, you've got more of it on there. Like, say, I don't know, if there's 200 clowns on Morph Market. Yeah, okay. I can see, auctioning off a clown or a single gene clown. That makes perfect sense to me.
Head on over to Triforce Morphs if you're looking for that missing piece in your ball python breeding project. While you're there, add a little bit of lace or citron to the mix, folks. John and Christine can also hook you up with the crested gecko, so don't forget that. Turn up the heat with Triforce Morphs.
If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you will not regret it.
But seeing some of these clowns that have 4 or 5 genes into them hitting the auction, or 3 or 4 gene clowns hitting auction, that's a little disheartening, especially when you see what they go for sometimes. It literally makes you sit here and question, what am I doing? All of that is enough to kill someone's passion. Because yes, I'm not into this to, make a killing. Yes, I would love to get all this, all of Warfels Morphs. I would love this to end up becoming, what I do for a living. The YouTube channel, the breeding the snakes, the shows. I would love for that to become what I do here. But with the current trend of what some of these projects are doing, that's an unrealistic goal for almost anybody. Unless you're making 30 or 40 clutches a day and maybe have 1 or 2 employees, breeding your own rats and all that stuff. Like, it's getting harder and harder for someone to do this as a living, just because of how auctions and other things have affected, the snake market, the ball python market especially. It's really hard, folks, to keep that passion for a lot of people going. And even if you're not worried, if you're not in this for any remote of money, which I think you're kind of crazy if you're kind of doing this and you say I'm not in it for the money, because it keeps money to keep all of this rolling. If you're not getting a little bit of a return on your time and what you're doing, I think you're going to burn out on it pretty quick at some point. That being said, I think if breeders and us, if us as breeders would stop racing to the bottom, kind of set that hard deck, this is what these combos are worth, and we're not going below it, I think that would be a big change. The other thing is, too, is people that are getting in are watching all these prices drop like crazy. Like, the sky is falling, and they may be passionate about, getting in. They're not going to be sold on the passion at all if they see all of us breeders running around with our heads on fire, yelling the sky is falling, fire sailing snakes, because that's not painting a good picture to people coming in. All right, guys, hopefully this wasn't too long a video. I'm looking at the time now. It's like 22 minutes, to like edit some of this, some of my screw ups out. It's going to be a little bit shorter. Was a little bit of a long-winded one, though. So I do apologize. This is something I am passionate about. I hate seeing, some of these projects just get run into the ground and seeing people get burned out. There's a lot of give and takes on this, and there's a lot of stuff that it can kill the passion really quickly for a lot of people, especially if you're new getting into this. So hopefully this video was a little bit of an eye-opener, helps you out a little bit, gets you thinking a little bit maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it gets you thinking though. But that is going to be it, folks. Greatly appreciate all the love and support. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, please. Drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the passion? How do we keep this passion strong? Make sure you guys go ahead, check out the channel members right here. Check out the channel membership. Link is in the description down below. Check out all the available animals and what's in the incubator with my link tree. Link tree's down there. Click it. Go to available animals /incubator. There's some killer stuff in that incubator. You will be seeing the bang clutch that they just hatched here in the not too distant future. Right now they're going in the shed, so I will be unveiling them very soon. So don't worry. I'm pretty darn happy with that clutch. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, that's gonna be it, folks. Hope you all enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget, Inside the Coil, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there, be nowhere else. You guys want to be here 8 p.m. Eastern Sundays. And that's going to be it, folks. I will catch you next time. Later.